Monday went down, we're live on the air. Networking, collabing, good vibes everywhere. From manic to magic, we're turning it round. Grab your drink, let's wind it tall.
Resellers unite, share wins and some fun. Recharge your week, the best has begun.
Vintage finds and stories to share.
Two old guys and friends who care.
Monday went down, come join the crew. Relax, connect, discover something new. From manic to magic, the best show in town. It's Monday night, let's wind it down.
First in the mornings, originally from the Bayou State of Louisiana.
I got my coffee, I got my dollars, and I'm looking for deals. Am I at the right place?
I say, here at Cajun Roots Reseller, you give me an offer and I'll take it.
Bless you, my child. Let me introduce myself. I'm Sister Mary Agnes. You may have heard about me from my friend Cajun Roots Reseller, Johnny. I met Johnny many years ago when he was purchasing furniture from Frankie and Johnny's in Louisiana. They were not going to give him credit, and I vouched for him. I said, let him have it with no problem. He's got the dollars. See the special man.
Let him have it with no
You got the
problem.
dollars, go see Johnny, he's got it all. Let him have it with no problem. See the special man.
Hello, I'm Johnny's Dough Girl. I'm here to say subscribe, hit the bell, not my belly button, and share out his shows. Always give him a thumbs up. You can even become a member. Buy him a coffee and follow his other channels like the cooking shows, my favorites, his fur babies, and more. Leave a comment. And when you watch a video, you're showing him your support.
Hi, I was looking for some jewelry. I'm going to be getting married soon. No, I don't have any credit.
Well, here at Cajun Roots Reseller, if you own a fixed income, even if it's on a sale, in the Cajun Roots Reseller eBay store, guess what? Send an offer. We'll let you have it with no problem.
Johnny has many auctions, chat shows, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and all are welcome. But there's no drama or negativity tolerated on any of his channels. Now go, child, with my blessings. Watch Cajun Roots Reseller. Love always. Be kind to one another, and have a blessed day.
First in the mornings, originally from the Bayou State of Louisiana. Here at Cajun Roots Reseller, you make me an offer and I'll take it. You got the dollars, go see Johnny, he's got it all. Let him have it with no problem, see the special man.
See the special man.
You got the dollars, make me an offer. New England Cajun roots, Johnny understands.
Johnny understands.
Let him have it with no problem, see the special man. Let him have it with no problem, see the special man.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome on this Monday night wind down. As you see, we do have a guest. Y'all know him in the chat as Misty Media, and that's Jay. He's with us today as a guest. We'll give him a little introduce himself. Y'all may know him from the chat. He also came and joined us on one of the morning shows last week. So that's how I like that we have guests. If you would like to be a guest on any particular topics, make sure you email myself or Mark and let us know, and we'll be glad to have you on as a specific topic on the Monday Night Wind Down Show. First in the chat was Stacy. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome, Stacy. May, how are you doing? Good to see you, and welcome. Claudette, hello, good afternoon, and welcome, and how are you doing? Good to see you, welcome. And Linda, hello, good afternoon, and welcome, and how are you doing? And that noise you hear in the background is the dog you're playing with his toy. Fur babies are all welcome. Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, don't be sorry. And Michael, I just want to make sure that they want to know what that noise is. Michael, hello, good afternoon, and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you, and welcome. What we're going to do is first we'll have Jay tell you a little bit about himself. If you have any questions having to do with the topic of the day, go ahead and ask away in the chat, and we'll get those answered for you as quickly as we can. And then I'll go ahead and I'll make sure to star them if there's multiples coming in at one time. So, Jay, tell everybody about yourself and what do you do and all that great information, please.
So let's see. Way back in 1970, no, that's probably a little too far back.
Yeah.
So I'm Jay Hartman. I'm the CEO and editor-in-chief of Misty Media and its imprints. I have been in the publishing game for over 30 years now. At one point, I was a Walden bookstore manager. Yay. One of the best jobs I ever had. I was a Stanford University bookstore manager for a while as well. I formed a publishing house called Untreed Reads that I co-ran and owned for 13 years. That came to an end, not by my choice. And so I knew I did not want to get out of the publishing business, so I started over from scratch. And then Misty Media was born. So Misty Media is everything's inspired by my husband Luis. We've been together for 20 years. He's from Peru, and so when I started over with Misty Media, I wanted everything to be sort of inspired by things having to do with Peru. So the Misty is actually the volcano that's just outside of Arequipa, and to me, it represented sort of that burn down the old, start get the fertile ground to start the new. So Misty Media seemed like a really good name. White City Press is our mystery imprint that you might see down there in the description. White City is the other name for Arequipa because the buildings are all made out of white stone. We have Nazca Press, which is our science fiction and mystery. Science fiction, fantasy, and horror. That's inspired by the famous Nazca lines in southern Peru that nobody knows how those were created. And then we just recently launched a kids imprint called Picarones Press. And if you've ever had picarones, they're like little fried donuts. My personal favorite dessert. So we just recently launched that as well. So yeah, we're celebrating our 2-year anniversary this month, and just going, keeping busy.
That almost sounds like our fried beignets in Louisiana.
Yeah, I mean it looks like a donut and tastes a lot like the bananas. Yep.
So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask away in the chat. Now, I'm going to start with a couple of questions just to get us started, unless Mark has anything written down that he would like to ask.
I do not have anything written down. I'm
okay.
Going to go by the seat of my pants.
So I know you do some publications, and by the way, all his information is in the description bar below. That way, if you want to reach out to him, his email, his other platforms, and other things that he does, all are in the description bar below. I had him send me everything he wanted me to include. So anytime we have a guest, always check the description. You'll find their information there. So my first question is, are you a type of publisher that if somebody wants to write a book, do they send their information to you, or how does that work when somebody wants to publish a book?
So we're very much like the traditional publishers, so the Random Houses and the Simon and Schusters of the world. You don't need an agent. We do accept unagented submissions, but we do typically people will send us their manuscript that's ready to go, or their agent will send the manuscript. We read it, we decide whether or not we want to publish it, and then we are firm believers that money only goes one way, which is it rolls down from the publisher to the author. The author should never pay for anything. That's traditional publishing that's it. The publisher covers costs. So that's what we do. We cover all production costs. The author helps us market, of course, because people don't want to hear a sales pitch from the publisher all the time. They want to be able to engage with the author. And so the process is just like it would be in traditional publishing. Books go out to market. We do publish as print on demand. So to help the environment and keep from killing trees, or as many trees as we can save as possible, we only print to order. So that's a really nice thing. But we offer our ebooks and our paperbacks on every continent. Anywhere that you can get a book, we're there.
Linda Hardy says hello from Reno. Jay.
Linda is one of our best discoveries. She's one of our authors. I've worked with her on a bunch of short stories now. She's in several anthologies that we've done. As a matter of fact, I have A Killing at the Copa. This is crime stories inspired by the music of Barry Manilow. So we took each author got to pick their favorite Barry Manilow song and then write a crime fiction story that was based around it. So Linda appears in quite a few of our anthologies, especially the really important one, the important two that are coming out this month. First volume's already out. It's called The Perp War Pumpkin, and the Perp War Pumpkin is humorous crime stories based around Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving foods. And 100% of the net profits go to Feeding America and Second Harvest Food Bank.
That was one of my questions because I watched your video on that.
Yeah, and the second volume, I just approved the cover yesterday. So the second volume, it will be coming out here. We'll be able to start doing pre-orders on that tonight. We'll be getting that set up on our site. But and what we do is we take those profits and we split them around the author's cities. So it isn't just going to the national, just the national distribution of it. We actually make a point of splitting the money up to where our authors live so that their writing is going back to helping their own community. So if they have a Second Harvest Food Bank in their area, it'll go there. If not, we go through a local chapter for Feeding America that would be in their neighborhood. Charity stuff is really important to me. It's something that I didn't get to do a lot of at my previous publishing house. So, in this day and age where things are, there's so many food deserts and people losing SNAP benefits and so many people going hungry with the way the world is. We're not wealthy. We don't have the deep pockets of the big publishers, but if there's still something we can do to give back, then we definitely do. And I have to say the writing community is amazing in that regard. We tell everybody up front, look, this isn't for pay. I'll cover the expenses of production, but we don't do this for a profit for the authors. This is 100% donation. And I mean, the number of stories we got was just wonderful. The authors really have big giving hearts.
All right, I want everybody to give a big warm welcome. And by the way, welcome and great to see you and welcome Linda. Please, everybody, give her a big warm Cajun Roots welcome and good to see you. Thank you for coming on in and good afternoon. And Sandy, hello, good afternoon and welcome. Distributes everywhere, all the platforms and all around the world.
Sandy Murphy, I don't think I would be back here today if it weren't for Sandy. Sandy is such a dear friend, and when Untreed Reads was taken away from me, and I really didn't think I would be able to start over, Sandy had my back from day one and just has been my cheerleader and the biggest champion for Misty Media. And She is actually the editor of the Purple War Pumpkin 2
Okay.
that's coming out this month. She's a wonderful author in her own respect. She's a terrific editor. She's done a number of anthologies for me. But she's just she's an amazing right-hand woman, and I value her tremendously. She's just a
And
terrific.
hello, good afternoon, and welcome to you to us between Linda and Sandy. Thank y'all for being here. Please give Sandy also a big warm Cajun Roots welcome, and I'm glad to see you here. Michael has a question. Do you only distribute through your own websites, or do you market it in other marketings? I think that's why Sandy answered.
Yeah, so one of the big things we do is that we do sell through our own website, but we use Ingram, which is one of the biggest distributors in the world for. We use them for ebook and for print because I'm a firm believer that we shouldn't be telling people where to buy books. They should be buying books from where they're the most comfortable or who they want to support. So I don't believe in this thing of, let's just do everything at Amazon. No. Plus, Amazon doesn't take very good care of authors or publishers. So we make a point of being everywhere that our readers are and distributing in every platform, every ebook format. You name it, we're out there.
And I'm glad y'all came in today. I'm not sure how you heard about the channel, maybe through Ray, but it's great to have you here. Cheryl, hello, good afternoon, and welcome. And how are you doing? Good to see you. Now, I've watched some of your videos, and you were talking in one of the videos in reference to contracts. So if somebody was wanting to do a book, and I saw where you have Sandy as an editor, do you have someone who, do they have to get somebody to proofread it? And how does the contracts work when they go into doing contracts for publishing their books?
Yeah, so I mean, ideally, the book is in really great shape by the time it gets to me. That is kind of an author's responsibility to have the book as clean as possible. I have Sandy, who she has her own imprint called Sandra Murphy Presents, where she focuses on a lot of new and emerging authors, people who haven't been published before. But she also gives me a hand with White City Press with those anthologies. So we read, and I also have Walt, who runs Nazca Press for me. So it's what we do is we assign the books out to editors when they come in. I do handle a lot of it myself. And there's two different kinds of contracts we can do. So one is a developmental contract. So if I see the possibilities of the book, but it's not quite in the shape that I think it should be, sometimes what we'll do is we'll go through we'll issue a temporary contract, if you will, that says, hey, if you make these changes and everything is good, then we'll move on and we'll actually publish the book. But we're not ready to offer you a publishing contract right now. This is just a developmental contract. But the far majority of our contracts is we're issuing them for publication. We're pretty. I think we're very fair. We don't write anything longer than a 3-year contract. That's open for renewals. A lot of places are moving into 5, 10, and lifetime. We don't believe in that. All of my short story authors, everybody who contributes to an anthology, for example, we ask for exclusivity of that story for the first 6 months, and then after that, we ask for non-exclusive lifetime, meaning that they can go and resell that story as many times over as they want. We just ask that we always have the right to have that story in that anthology, so that we don't have to take an anthology off of sale or remove it from market because somebody wanted their rights back.
And Michael came up with another question: if an artist is accepted, who is responsible for obtaining the ISBN? And of course, Sandy did kind of answer that as well. So that was the question from Michael.
Yep, we do handle, we do take care of the ISBNs. What we don't take care of is registering the book with the Library of Congress. So the copyright automatically belongs to the author, and the copyright automatically exists the moment the book is written. It automatically belongs to the author. The Library of Congress is a nice registration, but it doesn't enforce. A lot of people think that you have to be through Library of Congress in order to have your copyright, and that's not actually true. it's a nice thing, but it's kind of like saying, okay, we're going to put a copy of the book in the Library of Congress, and realistically, it's not like anybody's going to ever go there and check it out.
Mhm.
So if people do want the Library of Congress, that is on them to pursue. But by all means, we take care of ensuring that the book follows all copyright and ISBN stuff. Plus, we do make sure that the author's copyrights are enforced. So if we do find that piracy is going on somewhere, or plagiarism, we do ensure that the contract's written in a way that allows us to take legal action on behalf of the author to ensure that they're not, they don't lose out on sales and get penalized and have their books stolen from
Does
them.
that happen very often? I'm just curious.
So piracy is like the Hydra, from mythology. If you can, if you chop off the head of a pirate today, it's just going to grow back and show up somewhere else tomorrow. You'll never be able to end it, and if you focus all your efforts on trying to stop piracy, you will be losing all that time that you could have spent promoting to actual buyers. It's kind of like what we were talking about this morning on the morning show when you guys were talking about, you could listen to the people who are complaining or whatever. You could try to ban all of them from your channels, but you're spending more time doing that than developing your audience for your YouTube channel. And piracy is very much the same thing. There have been so many studies done, none of which prove that an author has actually been harmed by piracy. In fact, a lot of times it actually leads to bigger sales because people will pirate the first book in a series because they don't know whether or not they're going to like it, and then they go ahead and end up buying the others. So it's if it's out of control, it's one thing, and there's nothing you can do if it's a company that's based outside of the United States, because our copyright laws, overseas no one cares. So it's not worth pursuing those. But I really try to, my focus is on the people that genuinely want to support us, want to support my authors, love libraries. A lot of people say, oh, libraries are bad because, that book gets checked out, 600 times and you and your author only got paid once for it. But I'll tell you, if you get the love of a librarian behind your book, you're good to go for life. I mean, nobody's a bigger champion of books than libraries, far more than bookstores. Libraries are much more. Plus, they make their libraries a community. It becomes a meeting place to be able to share ideas and bring people together. I have nothing but mad love for librarians and libraries.
You keep talking about anthology. Are you only doing those type of books, or are you doing other subjects?
No. I mean, it's funny. Sandy and I were just talking about this the other day. That somebody there was another publisher that recently closed their doors, and we made the announcement that we would be happy to take on their authors. And some people said, "Oh, I didn't realize you did full-length books." It's just that Sandy and I both are weird, and we're always coming up with just strange and bizarre ideas for anthologies, and they're fun.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make a whole lot of money, but I absolutely do other full lengths. It's I have full length sci-fi authors. I have full length mystery authors. A lot of folks that have won many awards over the years, or have been New York Times bestsellers or USA Today bestsellers. We do nonfiction as well. So yeah, we do everything. That's kind of it. Sandy and I have just always had a real love for mystery and crime, and anthologies, and I think that's why it's been so heavy towards that. But I've told her that 2026 is going to be a different year. We have a romance imprint that hasn't gotten a whole lot of love. Well, boy, that was not planned. I did. That's amazing. That came out just like that. Even felt natural. But there's other imprints I want to develop more, and we just haven't done enough of it because we've had so much mystery in the pipeline, and so I'm definitely looking to expand out and do other stuff in 2026.
Out of curiosity, have you ever had someone send in a book that they thought was the best, and to you it was a flop? Like, why?
Yeah. I mean, the hard part about the hard part about being an editor is when you got to tell somebody that you don't want to publish their book, because it's kind of like telling them that their kid is too ugly to play on the playground with the other kids. And I mean, if you have a heart, it's kind of the worst thing. You go to bed feeling really bad about it.
Right.
It's all in how you deliver the news, but no editor wants to tell somebody that their book, and I've been wrong. So I mean, ultimately it comes down to people's taste, and I'd like to think that after 30 years in the industry that I've got my finger pretty well on the pulse of what people are looking for.
Mhm.
But I get it wrong too. A fantastic case in point: we were putting at my previous publishing house. Instead of the Purple Pumpkin, it was a for-profit series called The Killer Wore Cranberry, and I rejected a story by an author where she was serving bugs for Thanksgiving,
Okay.
like crickets and stuff like that. And I said to her, I think people would be nauseated, and I don't think it fits well with everything else. And she went on to win, I don't know how many awards for that story. Um, and I still bring that up all the time because it's just like, yeah, you hope you get it right. I tend to listen to my gut a lot. There's a thing that just kind of comes over me when I know I'm reading something that I feel really close to, or I feel like it's going to happen, that it's going to be magic if we publish it, and I try to go with that. And again, 9 times out of 10 I get it right, and I feel really good, especially about I think Sandy will agree too. It's even harder with anthologies because you've got all those authors that are writing for a theme, and sometimes you get people who write a similar story, and you've got to sit there and choose between the two. Which child are you going to kill? Sophie's Choice every time you go to do an anthology. So yeah, it's probably the least enjoyable part of the job.
So on the next portion of this question, is there any that you've given pointers or something to maybe change to make it a different style book for that person that you may have needing to reject?
It's happened a lot, actually, where I've rejected something, but I gave them enough notes and pointers that they went back and worked on it and resubmitted it, and I loved the outcome. Um, every writer needs a good editor. It's not you're As an author, you're too close to the material.
Mhm.
So sometimes I'll get into discussions with my authors, not arguments, but discussions, because they don't necessarily see things my way,
Mhm.
and I'm an Aquarius, so I'm always right. Um, but it's the if you're willing to take the time to listen to what an editor with experience has to say about your writing, and you have a thick enough skin like any other creative outlet requires, you'll be able to take those notes and go back and tweak it and turn it into something else. And I've absolutely seen it happen. And one of the things I like doing every year is I participate with an organization called Desert Writers, and every year they have a thing where authors can pay X amount of dollars and submit the first 3 chapters of their book, and those go to professional editors, myself included, for us to review it and then give them feedback on those 3 chapters. And that's been really a lot of fun because I've seen some things that have really had tremendous potential. And I like it when I can help somebody work on something, even if it's not going to be submitted to me, even if it's not publishing. I'm not the one publishing it, because I just believe every voice deserves a chance.
All
Everybody
right,
deserves to
I'm
be
going to go ahead
aware.
and start dropping links one at a time. And as I'm doing it, if you want to talk a little bit more about that, Ellen, hello, good afternoon, and welcome. And how are you doing? I would love to turn my movie into a book, but I'm lazy. No, you're not, Michael.
Oh, Michael.
Here I go.
Michael, I
M-
haven't, Michael, I haven't even known you that long, and I know you're not lazy.
All right, the first one is book submissions plus guidelines. Talk a little bit about that one. I do have the links down in the
So
chat for that.
that's our main website. We are working on moving all of our titles into the Misty Media website. We had an issue when we first started, that for some reason Facebook and a few other spots thought that we were a scam and would block all of our links to Misty Media. So we had to split our site into individual sites for each imprint. We're working on bringing those all back under one roof uh, for 2026. But right now, Misty Media is the main place to go to see all of our submission guidelines, who does what kind of open calls we currently have, and what we're looking for. And it'll give you little hints as to some of what we're publishing at the other imprints.
Sanya says that I do a volunteer edit for 4 short stories for SharkCon, an in-person conferences in Virginia where we focus on writing short crime fiction. Found some great stories there. Cool. All right, so I did go ahead and drop those links separately, not realizing that they joined together when I did that. So there's the 2 different links for that. The next one is White City Press, Mystery and
Yep.
Crime.
That's the bulk of our catalog right now. White City Press. At both of those, you'll find the Perp War Pumpkin, the first book. If you're looking to help out Second Harvest Food Bank and Feeding America, you will find the book at both of those sites. Also, we'll have the second one up on both sites for pre-order here probably this evening. I'm in Vegas, so later on this evening Pacific time. But White City Press is our mystery crime imprint, and we do split everything up there into collections or anthologies or full length. And I am really, really chuffed that even after everything went south with Untreed Reads and I left, so many of my authors came with me, believed in what we were doing in Misty Media. So a lot of the folks that you'll see at White City Press are mystery authors who wrote for me at my previous publishing house, and believed in what we were doing enough to come with me. And it just really, really means everything for me.
And the next one is Nazca Press, if I'm saying that correctly.
Nazca Press. Yep.
Okay.
Nazca is our horror, science fiction, and fantasy. And I have a gentleman named Walt Boyes that is he's my editor for that particular imprint. Unfortunately, if you write to him right now, you may not hear back. He and his wife are going through some pretty hellacious health issues. It's just been awful for them for the last 3 months. So I've been fielding a lot of the Nazca stuff, and Sandy's feeling a little bit of it too. But we're hoping Walt and his wife get better and are able to come back to us here real soon.
All right. If you would like to contact him, what are some of the things that they can contact you for? And I'll go ahead and put the email in the chat. It is in the description right below. If you need it, just copy and paste it.
Anytime, any kind of questions on anything, really. I'm all about education, and I don't think that people should be restricted just because from getting answers they need, just because I'm not their publisher. So I'm not great about answering emails in a timely fashion. I'm a little bit old school in that I firmly believe that email has sort of made things worse than made things better. We used to be very patient and be able to wait for a letter to travel across the country and then wait for that response to come back. And now everybody expects an answer in like 30 seconds after sending their email. And I don't subscribe to that.
Express, right?
Yeah. I mean, I just don't subscribe to that theory. So, I try to tell people responding, my response to you may be on my my time schedule that may not match yours.
Right.
but I do my best to get to everybody as
Well, I
fast
get
as I
that kind of
can.
comments every now and then. Why you didn't answer my email? What time did you send it? Then I go look at it. It's like, I was
Well,
already in bed. You're going to get answered when I
so
get home.
I'm gonna say, so what's your phone number?
I, I'm so much easier to reach on Fate. Like I tell people all the time, just shoot me a message. My phone's, my phone's on me all the time. I am on one end of the autism spectrum, and I don't do phone calls. I avoid them at all costs if I possibly can. But I have no problem messaging, and I'll jump on a message in a
How
heartbeat if
can
you.
they message you or how they can find you on Facebook?
Uh, you can message me as Jay Hartman, or we also are Misty Media has its own Facebook page, as does White City Press.
Okay.
And did you see
All of those go to
Michael's
me.
question up there?
Yeah. I was going to go back to it. I have it starred right here.
Okay.
Michael has another question. Everyone knows I am a huge champion of AI. I love AI. Now you got me hooked, but not for content creation. What do you think is the impact of individuals self-publishing AI books, especially in the ebook environments? That's a good
So
question.
I think the impact is very similar to um, going to a giant concert, having roughly 80 porta potties lined up on one side, and then pushing them all over so that all that crap flows out where everybody's trying to have a good time. That's my opinion of AI. It is just nothing but crap filling and signal to noise. All it's doing is distracting from the people that are actually writing, that actually have talent. It's yeah. I hate AI for uh, writing content. I will not use it for cover design. There are too many people who have spent too much time learning how to be artists and being good at their craft and deserve to be paid and recognized. And you got to keep in mind that all AI has been trained using other people's stuff without permission, and there is no case of any kind of AI where that is not the case. Every single AI bot out there has been trained on other people's stuff and without permission. So, it's the same, especially with the writing. It's taking authors and taking their material and uh, cranking something out. And most of that AI writing is soulless. I mean, if you read it, you realize that there's just nothing behind it. It's just words on a page. I do find AI to be very useful for marketing. It really does help me clarify for marketing messaging and that sort of thing. But yeah, no, I am not an AI fan for content creation at all.
Is in my eyes, or is Mark giving hot vibes today? Let's show her.
Now you understand why I put the here. Let me redo it.
There you go.
Oh,
Oh, yes, indeed.
Bless me, Father, for I would like to sin.
Oh my, Mark! You were at talking conference. Confession later.
Hey, Ellen. Hey.
Do you have a sloth on your page for Facebook? There's 4 or 5 J Hartmans that come up.
Yes, let me grab that.
You have a black dog?
I do.
This has got to be you then. Yeah, I see the print thing. Yep, I got you.
Okay.
So many different ones.
Yeah.
I want to just click on. There was somebody in Houma, Louisiana too. I was like, wait, Nicholls State University.
Yeah, it should come up Las Vegas, and I do have it, and I do have it in my profile about Misty
And you're
Media.
also friends. No, that's not him, is it? You know Danny LeConte from New Orleans? I used to clean his house. He's on your main page as a friend. I know him. I used to clean his house. And we were friends and part of the Bear Club in New Orleans.
So that's where his jewelry went. Oh, okay.
Let's see here. So again, if anybody was interested in knowing anything about publishing, please ask your questions because that's what we're here for today. John, Jade was offered to come on up as a guest. Anybody who wants to be a guest is always welcome. For anyone who wants to be a guest on a specific topic, let us know. We'll be glad to have you up here. To be fair,
I did want to say a couple things about reselling books.
Uh-huh.
Because I know that's the crowd, and I make sure that reselling books has become a little bit harder in recent years because of publishers producing so many copies of things and then not able to. They way overprint and then they put them all out in the market, and then as a result, fewer and fewer books these days have any real value in the reselling community. Um, you almost have to go back to things that are like pre 2005, I would say, somewhere before 2005, really. But everything after 2005 has just become sort of a mass market wasteland that, unless you're doing bundles, it's really hard to resell books and make money off of them for anything uh, that's not more vintage, if you will.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, well, by chance, my sister wife, she used to sell books, and it was about 2005 before it tanked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's a tricky market.
So my next question is because I heard you say earlier, if somebody, because I know some people, like my husband, for example, he only reads his books on his Kindle or his reader or
Mhm.
whatever he uses. How can somebody go in and get the books to be able to read on a tablet or on a phone, or does it all have to be hard print?
No, we publish in both ebook and in PDF. So we EPUB and PDF. So all of our books are available through Amazon. So if you do read on your Kindle, you can read that way. Google Play. So if you're on the Android, we're in the Apple Store, the Apple eBook Store. So if you read on your iPhone and use the Apple Books app, we're on that as well. Again, it's really important for me to be format agnostic. It should not be up to me to tell somebody how to consume our content. Nothing
Mhm.
makes me angrier than when I want to read something and somebody says to me, "Oh, it's only I only do Kindle." Well, I only have it available on Amazon. Well, okay, I don't like the Kindle app personally. I don't have a Kindle reader. I don't like the Kindle app, and I much prefer Kobo out of Canada. I like their app a lot better. Well, I'm not going to go and spend the money for on a Kindle just to get it to read it. I'll find some way to check it out of the library, which is also nice because if you do, I recommend that folks check their local library to see if their local library offers ebooks. If they do, there's a really good chance those books are being offered by a company called Overdrive. And Overdrive offers the ability for you to either read it in the app or on your Kindle or on your Kobo device. All of our books are available through Overdrive as well. And there's a few different library models, so not all of our books are available through every library. It's up to the library to decide what they want to carry. But a certain percentage of every library's annual budget has to be spent on patron requests. Otherwise, they don't get that part renewed. So it's great when the patrons of the community go in and say, "Hey, we've heard about XYZ book. We'd really like to read it. Can you add it to the library?" And you can do that actually through the Overdrive app if you want it in ebook format, or talk to your local library and they'll put in the request. It's great for us. It's great for the community.
Yeah, because I know in New
Um,
Orleans where we lived at, we had when we would go to the library, you can only check out 2 a week, but you can only have it for up to 3 weeks.
Yeah, here in Vegas, there's a really great partnership because we have the city of Las Vegas, but we also have the city of Henderson. Um, and the two of them have a really terrific relationship where it's if you have a card with one, that card works with the other, and they both offer up to 10 checkouts at a time, with 3 weeks for each checkout. So you can really do some damage.
I know
with
Robert used to, but we haven't
so,
checked our local library here to see if they do that. But it was actually nice because we were able to get the books we wanted without having to physically check it out.
Yep.
Michael says, I would love to pick up the Murder one by Dorothy, but it's like $100 now for the paperback. Crazy how some vintage books all have exploded in cost. You right about that.
The other thing that irritates me about the cost of books is that I don't know. I gotta tell you, the expense of production is not as bad as publishers like to make it out to be, and some of these prices are obnoxious. And I will never spend $9.99 or $12.99 for an ebook. That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Once you've created the file, you've created the file. We have made for the last 15 years at my old publishing house and this one, we don't charge more than $5.99 for an ebook, period. I still believe in pricing like back in the 80s and the 90s for a regular mass market paperback. $5.99 was the going rate. Nothing wrong with a $5.99 ebook. Today, it's about the same equivalent. And most of our paperbacks typically run between $16 and $20. I try to keep the cost low. And again, this is where selling through our website is better, because if we sell through our website, we don't have to pay a middleman a percentage of every sale just for the benefit of having our book there. We can keep more in pocket, which means more going to the author as well. So the author always does better when we sell through our site.
Go ahead, Mark.
Well, I was just going to go with the cost of books. There was I was looking for a book for many, 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 many years, like 30 years, and it was a specialty. It was called Gone Home. It was printed in 1981, and that was the last printing. Well, Michael found it for me for my birthday a couple of years ago, and it was $180.
Yeah.
But I have
scarcity. It's
But
the
it's a great
scarcity
reference
thing.
book too, though.
Do what?
It's a great reference book too. Is that the one you're talking about?
It's all about death. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was reading way above my grade level. So in kindergarten, my mom had to go fight with the school board to allow me in kindergarten to go to the school library by myself and get fifth grade reading level books. But one of my all-time favorites was one called The House with a Clock in Its Walls by John Bellers. And umpteen years later, when I was a Walden bookstore manager, I realized I really desperately wanted a copy of that, but I wanted it to be a library edition where it had still the film dust jacket and it had a checkout pocket in the back with the card still in it. And I went to an out-of-print book service, and they actually found me one.
Oh, cool.
And with the card, with stamps, the whole 9 yards. And I don't care if I lose everything else in a house fire. Like that's the thing I will carry outside with me. Like that's the most important book I have in my entire collection, because it's
right.
Everybody's got that one book that's always meant something to them from reading it.
Yeah, I have one called Tomorrow Has Been Canceled. I don't remember the author. Robert hates it when I used to put it in the front of him to read, because he always says, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. So he would hide the book and I would find it and put it back in the front of him.
Well, this is going to sound very childish, but I was probably 6 years old. The first book I ever read, Queenie Peavy, a poor white girl. Yes, I have it. Yeah.
I've never heard of that one.
It was a grade school book.
Yeah, I know, but I don't remember that. I don't ever remember that one. All right, so if anybody has any questions in reference to publishing books or thinking about doing books, writing books, and needing an editor or anything like that on publishing, ask your questions. That's what we're here for. That's what Jay came to join us for today in this topic. My next question is, what would you recommend if someone is like in a writer's block, so to say? What would you recommend or suggest for them to get out of that writer's block?
Stop thinking about writing. So nothing keeps advancing writer's block more than focusing on the fact that you're having writer's block.
Mm-hmm.
So um, and it's also important to I call it switching brains. So if you're stuck on something creative, switch to something mathematical, switch to something that requires a different cortex of your brain to focus on for a while.
Mm-hmm.
There's no deadlines unless you have an editor that gave you a deadline. So it's okay to get up and walk away and say, you know what, I just can't write right now. And you eventually will come back. And you know, it may be 2 years later that you're inspired to come back and work on that story again because you get some other idea in the meantime that inspires you to keep going. The important thing is to write something every day. So whether that's a journal, I'm just now getting into I'm getting into journaling, um, but write something, and it doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be edited. It doesn't have to be proofread. Just write and write stream of consciousness. So just don't worry about periods. Don't worry about punctuation. Sit down every morning, set aside 10 minutes to just freestyle write everything as it comes into your head. Let that be the first time, let that be the first thing you do in the morning. See, Cheryl, it does come out right. You want it one way. The words are coming out the way they're meant to come out. You can go back and edit that later. The important thing is to get the bean of the idea out first, and then you can go back and grow the bean into something else. But it get it out of your head and get it on paper so you have kind of an idea of what it looks like.
Yeah.
But it's not necessary to have it perfect when it comes out. It's funny, in all the years I've published, I've never published any of my own stuff. And I've had a book in my head for years that I keep writing and rewriting, but it's only ever been in my head. And I got through college kind of doing the same thing with papers, where I would write the paper entirely in my head and rewrite it and rewrite it. And when I finally sat down to type it out, I didn't have anything to change. But I'm the weird one, right? Like that's not how most humans operate. And it's why a lot of people don't get discouraged by journaling, because they feel like their journal needs to look really pretty and have good handwriting, and that they go back and it all makes sense. And it's not. It's not necessary at all. The only important part is getting the idea out of your head, no matter what it looks like. And trust me, when you go back later to revisit it, it'll jog your memory. You'll remember exactly where you were at and what you want to do with it. But just write something every day.
Just like for Mark and I, for our morning show, a lot of times we have a Word document we use. And if we're thinking of something, we hurry and write it down and type it out, because that way we know we can always come back to it and build on it. But if we don't write it down, this could be like, oh my God. So a lot of times,
or what I'll do is I'll have some notes and I bombard him with 5 or 6 of them at one time. And it's like, okay, here's the beginning.
and like I tell Mark, because he can save it, but I don't know why he can't go back and open it. But when he does, I don't see it. So I don't know what's going on with that. But when come Monday morning, 9 times out of 10, his desk is full of sticky notes and he's typing them all up in our spreadsheet. And then we build up on it for the week or the next week. So I believe strongly in typing it out, because for me, if I don't, and the reason I use Word documents, because sometimes it does correct things for me. And it's like, wait, that does sound better, or wait, that doesn't sound right. And so, yeah, you can build on it from there. If I'm writing it or typing it in, talk to text, that could be in trouble too. I had a professor in college, mentioning creative writing, who said the same thing. And if you have writer's block, do stream of conspicuous. No, what it says?
I had a professor
Go
in
back in
college. She majored in creative writing who said the same thing. If you had writer's block, do
Yep.
stream of consciousness and go back
conscious.
and edit.
Okay.
So,
And
so Butu, I don't know where you went to college. I went to Florida State and got my degree in literature, and uh, they would not allow us to write genre fiction. I don't know if you were allowed to where you went to college, but if I wanted to write a mystery story or a horror story or something like that, it was an automatic fail. You were only allowed to write literary fiction, and I
Oh,
think that may be one of the reasons why I'm so into publishing the genre stuff now, is because I wasn't allowed to write it when I was in college.
when I was writing my
I want to go
co-op,
back to Cheryl for just a minute. That is Cheryl, just because she said it's in my head.
right here.
Yes. Uh, Cheryl, and like Jay is saying, write it down. It doesn't, you've got it in your mind that it's got to be perfect when you write it down. No, just start writing it out, and you can always go back and edit later.
I will say this, Cheryl. The obviously you want to do it in the way that's the most comfortable to you, but there are so many studies over and over and over again that have proven that it is more effective to actually handwrite whatever it is that you're trying to express rather than to type it. There's a definite connection between that flow from your head to your hand. There's a connection there, and it's much more likely to kind of stick with you and have the idea stick in your head. Um, Typing stuff's out great for, like, quick stuff or stuff that you're going to reference really soon thereafter. But so many studies have proven that if you take the time to write longhand, it'll slow you down, and as a result, it keeps you more in the moment and in the process. Um,
Ellen makes a good point too. If you're intimidated by either writing or typing, talk to text it. In other words, there's a file you can put into your phone where you talk and text, and it'll type what you're saying.
It's
Now,
hard telling what
sometimes,
you're going to end up with, but hey,
right,
it'll at
right,
least give you the idea.
correct. That is a good idea too. Let's see. Linda says when I was writing a Copa story, one of the characters took off in an unexpected direction. Either she was in the wrong story, or I was following where she was going, and she was correct. That'd be an interesting story, though.
I hear this from a lot of authors. I know Sandy has said the same thing about stories that, when she's working on something for an anthology, and she's like, you know what, I was all set to take it in this direction, but that's not where my character wants to go. So I'm having to figure out what does my character want, and can I get an extension? Because and I'm like, yeah, it's honest. You want your writing to be as honest as it can possibly be, and
Exactly.
the best way to do that is to listen to what the writing is telling you.
And like Sandy says, also, or you could do something totally different by draw, paint, write, short or long, and make a list of goofy ideas. I like that. Like I says, I was lucky. For my movie, I dreamed it in an entire thing in a dream. And spent the next 3 days writing out the script and laptop. Wow, sitting in the hall of schools. That is awesome, Michael. Also,
Michael, I hear that story. I hear that same experience from a lot of folks, and it's usually like it's wonderful because it just shows that when inspiration hits, it shows you were meant to write it. When it comes to you like that and it's so fully formed,
mhm.
um, your brain is absolutely like telling you, "Look, I run with this. You're supposed to run with this."
And that reminds me, I've been watching a lot of things and doing some research on the reason why we wake up, and I say myself, between 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning. And there's things that's about it that I've been reading. And that was one of the things about if you wake up from a dream and you remember it, write it down,
Yep.
which is pretty
Yeah.
cool. Aunt Boo says, by the way, if you know Glamoz, that's Aunt Boo's sister.
Oh, okay.
That's Aunt Boo. She does Ubuntu Productions where she does intros, outros, and things like that for
She's
people.
the one that has
Yeah.
done all of our
She went to
most of our work.
university. Let's see. She said if you
Read.
read. The best writing is the best readers. She went to Webster University and is the only lit
Fiction.
Literary
fiction,
fiction. Yeah.
literary, and playwriting.
Yeah. I do agree that it's really important to read. What I would say though is I get way too many submissions where if you really like John Grisham, you're gonna love my story, or it's
Yeah.
Stephen King meets blah blah blah, and what I always have to tell people is if I wanted a Stephen King story, I would pick up the phone and call Stephen King's agent and say, hey, can I get a story? So it's okay. It's great to read lots of other people. Just make sure that you don't compare yourself to anybody else.
Yeah,
Make sure. I mean,
You
in
are your own unique individual.
that's right.
there's there are a lot of major publishers out there that are going to, when they're and agents who are going to say, well, what else is in the marketplace that's like your book right now for comparison? Quite frankly, I just don't subscribe to that because I don't want a book that's like everybody else's. I used to have the saying for us: if you've been told you're too weird or too hard to classify, you're probably perfect for me.
Let's see here. I wanted to go back to this one. Cheryl says, never thought of that hand the writing, which is a good idea because especially when you have it in your mind and you're not doing it, or you could do text to talk, whatever it takes you to get it on paper. That way you got something written down that you can always grow with that and go on more with that and write more on it and add
The
to it.
other thing that's great about that too is I tend to always be rushed, and I have terrible handwriting. I can't. I'm just the worst. And if you take the time to sit and write, because it forces you to slow down, your handwriting starts to improve as well. It's just sort of a great little side effect of that.
Another
And I'm
St. Louis, Missouri, right there too, from Missouri.
So I'm finding now that my handwriting is, since I started journaling and being more deliberate and taking the time to do it, it's my handwriting has vastly improved.
Right. All right. Does
Don't
anybody
ask
else
my
have any
husband
other questions?
about my handwriting because
Sometimes we have a hard time reading our own handwritings, right? That's when you know you got okay. I gotta step away. The hardest book I ever read was Pandora by Anna Rice. Really? Is in the third person, the first person. Oh, really? I didn't realize that. I never read it either, but yeah, interesting. So if anybody else has any questions, please feel free to ask. I want to thank Jay for coming out again. It's been an hour, and I don't want to take too much more of his time. Again, thank you for doing this with us. If anyone you would give advice to when, again, like in Cheryl's situation where she's having a hard time putting it down or writing it down, what would be some tips that you would give somebody to just start writing if they choose to?
The big thing is take some time for yourself every day to write something. There's always time instead of getting through. Well, I almost said YouTube videos, but then I'm that would be bad. We'll say TikTok instead. Instead of scrolling through TikTok or your Instagram feed, take the 5 minutes you would have spent there to write something, and be kind to yourself. Um, you're your own worst critic, and you're gonna be your own worst enemy when it comes to writing. So don't just give yourself permission to not be great, to not have perfection the first time you write it down. That's what the editing process is for, and that's what editors are for. The most important thing, though, is be honest to yourself. Write what you believe. Write what's true. Write what you've experienced, not what you think an experience should be. Um, the more open and honest that you're able to be in your writing, the more your reader is going to engage with you. And so always write from the heart. And there's an audience for everything. So even if you think, oh, I've got this story, but nobody will want to read it, that's untrue. There's a guy named Chuck Tingle, which I recommend people look up. I won't go into his stuff, but if you want to believe that there's something for everybody, Chuck Tingle makes millions of dollars writing some of the most weirdest things you've ever seen.
Interesting.
So trust yourself, trust that you have the talent, and don't be afraid to ask for help in the writing process. Have, when you feel comfortable, to have only people you trust read your material, and not somebody that is going to just yes you. oh, it is really great. No, surround yourself with people who can be honest but caring at the
Right.
same time to help
Exactly.
support you.
Hello,
And
good
join a
afternoon, and welcome, Giovanni.
Hey,
and join a
Giovanni.
local writers group if you've got one. Look to see if there's a writers community in your area. Sandy belongs to a really terrific one called Writers Under the Arch in St. Louis, who I've published something from almost every single one of those members over the course of years. Writers groups are a terrific way to be able to go and workshop your stuff and get other people's input. I really highly recommend finding a writers group in your area.
We've had a lady in our group that comes in, but she hasn't been coming in a while. Her name is Barbara Bustamante, and she is in a writers group where they produce a lot of books. But I haven't seen her in a while, so I hope she's doing okay and keeping busy with that. 14. What does 14 mean?
I think 14 is the number of people we published out of WUTA, Writers
Okay.
on the Arch.
Okay.
And Sandy actually edited a terrific anthology we did called "Yeet Me in St. Louis," which was a crime anthology where every story has to include the St. Louis Arch. It's part of a series we're doing state by state, but it's all St. Louis authors.
Oh, cool.
So it was St. Louis or Missouri, but for the most part, they were all St. Louis. So it was a nice, really local,
There is a
locally based.
city on the other side.
Nah,
Yeah.
He said, nah. I love it. And again, I didn't do this yet. And so let me drop this in the chat. If anybody would like to join us after the show is over, you're more than welcome to come and join us for a one-on-one in the background. I'll also Dark Heart. What?
boy, Michael, I'm glad your mom felt that way. Mine had no problem telling me that she didn't like anything I wrote.
I
She was,
love it.
yeah.
Also Dark Heart.
And
Tattletales by
James
okay.
Gwaltney.
Y'all got a lot of books that came out of there then. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drop the link, and if anybody would like to come on after the show is over, you're more than welcome to join us. I will pin that to the top of the chat, and it's one-on-one after the show is over. Also, remember, if you would like to be a guest on the show and you have any particular topic you would like to bring to our community, please do by contacting myself or Mark, emailing us and letting us know what your topic is about. I'm waiting to hear from Al, Homeschool Lou, where she's going to come on and when she's got the availability, she's going to let me know. We're going to have her on here about cooking homemade food for your pets.
Nice.
That includes anything from dogs, cats, or birds, and iguanas, whatever. She's going to be talking, and she's getting her stuff ready for that show. So I'm looking forward to having her on for that as well. People like Amy Boo, I would love to have her on here about her product that she does with doing intros and outros and countdowns and all that great stuff for you. Special events.
Yeah,
So yeah, definitely have you on here for that as well. And if anyone and all are welcome. So please, if you have any more questions, please make sure to ask in the chat. What do you have anything coming up anytime soon, Jay?
We've got releases coming all the time, but I would say our big focus right now, we've got will be the Perp War Pumpkin, our two collections to support Second Harvest Food Bank. We also have another anthology that's coming out for helping animals. We just call it the Brits right now. We'll have more of that coming soon. But yeah, we publish new stuff every single month. So stay tuned to our websites to see what's hot and what's new.
And also remember that all the proceeds that they make from the sale goes to the food bank. So
yep. So everything from the Purple War Pumpkin and the second volume, 100% net proceeds go to the food banks. Absolutely.
Yeah. Going to be looking for that book, Sandy. If you have, go down into the description bar below and get all his information, the different links, and you'll find the books probably in those websites, correct?
Yep.
I saw you had
sure
books
will.
in there as well.
Cheryl, I am proud of you, girl. You go, girl.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
You got it.
That's awesome.
You got this. So as I say before in every show, Mark, do you have anything coming up that you would like to promote?
Well, okay, we made it through Monday. Tomorrow is the Friends Find a Friend sale. It's on Two Old Guys channel, and Janice is my co-host, and Donna Maria will be our mod, and we're going to go from 1:30 Eastern till about 7 Eastern.
Usually it's about 7
So,
Eastern.
and then Wednesday I'm going to be on with Johnny again. Hey, can't stay away.
Nope.
It's something about a court order.
Yeah. And I get visitations on the first
Second Wednesday of every
Wednesday of
month.
each month. So yeah. Also, don't forget tomorrow, come back and see us at 8:30 in the morning. But tomorrow at 1:30, I'll be on with Mark and Janice at the Friends Selling with Friends. And then at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, I will be a guest on the Nurse Flipper Cat's channel. It's a podcast she does every Tuesday night. And I was asked to be a guest, and I told her yes. So hopefully y'all can come and check us out tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And that's Eastern Standard Time. Also, Jay's information is in the description right below, including his YouTube channel. But also, you can check out the links to the books that are for sale. And you can also reach out to him if you have any questions. Any final thoughts, Jay?
No, just thank you so much for inviting me on. It's a blast. I'm very happy I discovered you folks, and it's been a wonderful community to be a part of.
What?
Well, Jay, so far it's been a real pleasure to meet you.
Well, all right, Michael, be safe. And it's always a great pleasure to meet other new people in our community. Please share this out. Remember, we do the morning shows, which is the Morning Boost on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 8:30, myself and Mark. And then every Thursday, it's mainly a Q&A about different platforms that we sell on or general questions. If I don't have them, I will look them up and get them for you. And then, of course, every Friday is the Would You Buy It or Would You Leave It? It's things that we sell as resellers in our community. For those who send me those in the email by Friday morning, I show those, and then also what I've sold throughout the week. And it's basically a game we play every Friday, and it's fun before you go out sourcing over the weekend. So as I say before I end each and every show, I want to thank each and every one of y'all for coming out, even those that are new to the channel. Thank y'all for coming out and supporting Jay with us today, and hope to see you more often back with us. And you're always welcome. And as I say before I end each and every show, love always, love is always free. Please be kind to one another till we meet into another chat. Have a blessed and fabulous day until we meet again. Later. Peace out. And y'all come back now, you hear? Want to come on before at the end of the show? The link's at the top of the chat. See y'all later.
First in the mornings, originally from the Bayou State of Louisiana. Here at Cajun Roots Reseller, you make me an offer and I'll take it. You got the dollars, go see Johnny, he's got it all.